Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today for another Facebook Live here at Cacao Media. Today, we are super excited to have a special guest, Kiera Estrada, who's the Customer Support Associate at HubSpot. She's joining us from Ireland, also in quarantine, but she will be taking us through some of the most popular HubSpot integrations and some that you may not be so quite familiar with, but I'm sure will come in pretty handy, especially these days. So, Kiera, welcome. How are you today?
Hi, Day, Resa. Hi, all. I'm all good, stuck at home as everybody else, but, making it work from here.
Amazing. So, Kiera, before we begin, tell us a bit about yourself and what exactly do you do at HubSpot?
So I'm a customer support in HubSpot. I basically help customers every day with different queries from, setting up their whole account to sync and integration to be there for them to make sure that they actually, are a success in a long term with HubSpot.
Oh, you're amazing. So you are the girl I probably call every day when I have these very difficult questions and I can't figure out what to do for my clients, right?
Yeah, so I could be also in a call, I could be sharing with you a screen and checking what is happening there, or I could be even on a chat trying to, be those extra pair of eyes on that, small question that you might have.
Amazing, Kiera. So thanks so much for all your hard work. Trust me, it's well appreciated on our side.
Thank you.
So today we want to jump into integrations. We decided that we're going to talk a bit about HubSpot integrations and exactly which ones are very good or which ones that customers can get more value of. So we want to kick it off with one very popular integration that everybody is probably using today. And it's one that we want to talk about for meetings and events. So what's the integration that is most popular for meetings?
So I say like one of the most populars in this
So the
case, it would be
integration that we
Zoom.
do, yeah. Yes.
So it
Yeah.
would be
So
Zoom.
Zoom, can you
And
tell us a bit about Mhm.
sorry, I think the connection is cutting.
Yeah, everybody is online now. It's holiday here in Israel, so the internet might be going down a bit because everybody's having Zoom family dinners tonight. But don't worry, we'll hear you. So tell us a bit about the HubSpot and Zoom integration. How does it?
So yeah, Zoom, it does connect with HubSpot. You can use Zoom from setting a webinar. Also, you can set your actual meetings link with Zoom, as well as you can, set up a small personal meetings link within a note, for example, with a contact. So first of all, I think like before you guys go ahead and connect Zoom, it is very important to take in count what are the requirements, who is connecting it to make that sync, successful, because it is very common that people just start connecting it and sometimes it's not a super admin or it doesn't have like the specific subscription in both platforms. So definitely it's a good tip to go and check in the actual apps market on what Zoom it does, how to connect it, and what requirements do we need before going ahead.
Oh, yes, that's a good tip. I've done this integration a couple of times. So I know for Zoom, you really need to have a professional license. And for HubSpot, of course, you need to have the Marketing Hub or Enterprise Professional to do the integrations. But most people use Zoom for webinars today, right? So what are some of the benefits they actually get from connecting Zoom webinar to HubSpot? Why should they even do that integration?
Yeah, sure. So I think one of the biggest things that it brings up into your daily work is that you can actually have all of those contacts that are being registered in Zoom in your CRM in HubSpot. All of these, you can use them for filter them in lists. And then like we'll say you can target those customers from that webinar. After the webinar, for example, is finished, you can actually, with an automated email, you can reach them out and say thanks straight away, just from working from that actually list that they were registered, during the registration to Zoom. So that's something that is very simple, but well, tell me if I'm incorrect here, Resa, but I think in the past, guys, you needed like to, export your list, bring it into HubSpot, and then start working from there. However, with the integration, all of this is happening in the back end, and you just get ready with the important things, which is, reaching your customers at the end of the day, at the end of that webinar.
All right. And that's very useful, and it's a very amazing part of the integration. One of the things that I often found very useful as well with this integration is you can also sync the attendees to the webinar as well as the non-attendees. So once who attended from the time the webinar is gone live. So that list can be also pre-set up, because oftentimes people like to send two different types of emails to the people who attended and the people who didn't attend. So you can also set that list up, right?
True.
But what do you think are some of the most common problems? Since you are in customer support, I know you get a lot of those questions, like, what am I to do? What's wrong? What am I not seeing? So what are some of the common questions you get with this integration?
I'll say one of the common ones is, because I don't know if you are familiar that you can actually connect one account of Zoom with HubSpot. But then the big question is like, what will I do with my other users? Because they want to have, like a specific account per user. But what they haven't seen upfront before integrating is like, you can have one account per Zoom, but you can have many users within that account. And all of those many users, it would be the actual users that they will be HubSpot users. So that's like a very common question that, at the beginning confuses people sometimes, because they will expect to have different accounts for different users, whereas Zoom is one main account with different, we'll put it like little profiles, and those little profiles will match those users. And then another big question is how to set, those registers from Zoom into a HubSpot list through using a workflow, for example. And like, really it is going down into the actual knowledge base, and it does walks you through the steps, but it is down to putting the actual ID of Zoom within HubSpot, and then when you turn that workflow on, then it's when the magic starts happening. But it's really just that ID from Zoom that it actually will connect them in that situation.
Amazing. So that's a very good tip. So thank you for sharing that. One more thing I just wanted to discuss before we move on to the other type of integration is to really understand, is there anything else people can use this integration for besides webinars?
Yes. So it is like, for example, when you are in a CRM contact record, if you actually add a note from there, or you are creating an actually email from there, you're going to get to see, once you have Zoom integrated, it would be like a little icon underneath, where is the attach and all of those other icons, that it actually will let you populate straight away from there the Zoom link, that you can actually just add it into that note or into that contact record. And that could be, your kind of personal virtual meeting straight away from there. So it is interesting in that way, as well as when you connect your meetings link with Zoom, you can actually receive that meetings link. Your customer will receive it too. And you both, at the time of the meeting, you just click in the link and you're both virtually meeting, which is like, it saves you that time of going, creating, populating the meeting link and attaching it. It's already attaching it for you.
Amazing. You see, this is exactly why I love HubSpot. It's always trying to save us time. So once you do this integration, you have so many things you can do quickly at a click of a button instead of taking time to download lists or add your Zoom link after you send the calendar invite. You can just do this all in one shot because you already have the integration. So really good tips. Thank you so much for that. Now we want to get into a little bit more interesting integration because during this time a lot of salespeople have had to work remotely, and they do need to understand how can they better use HubSpot and LinkedIn. So can you tell us a bit about the HubSpot and LinkedIn Sales Navigator for
Yeah, sure. So
sales outreach?
yeah, so this one at the minute is very, interesting, especially for sales. Why? Because once you sync LinkedIn and HubSpot, it's that type of integration that it will allow you to see what kind of extra interests or what kind of matches you could have with that LinkedIn profile, that it could make that connection a little bit easier and natural. So after you sync your account with this integration, you can actually connect with those customers from HubSpot into their LinkedIn profile, sending them a little email, but having that extra information that it makes it more personal for you and for them, and it makes easier that communication. Again, it is very important before we check, before we go ahead and integrate this app, is to check those requirements that you need to have.
So I know when I tried doing this, because I thought to myself, oh, I have a LinkedIn account and I have HubSpot, I can do this integration. But then I saw a big block. So can you tell us exactly what it is we actually need to have this integration work?
So you will need to have a LinkedIn Sales Navigator team or enterprise. That would be for LinkedIn side. And like from HubSpot side, you will need to have a Sales Hub, either professional or enterprise side.
Right. So that's a very, very important tip, people. It doesn't work if you just have a simple LinkedIn account. You do need to have a team, not just LinkedIn Sales Navigator, but you have to have a team edition for it to work seamlessly and for it to even work as you need. But again, why I think the investment is necessary, and I purposely put these integrations in the orders that you are seeing here, it's because after a webinar, would you not love to connect to those people who attended your webinar and understand a bit more information about who were those people who attended? So your integration with LinkedIn Sales Navigator will give you that information so you can have a little bit more personalized messaging. So while the marketing team is sending out the usual, thanks for attending the webinar, here's the recording, the sales team can also be identifying qualified prospects and sending them personalized LinkedIn messages through that same tool of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So thank you for explaining this. Now, I would love to jump into another integration now, which is the HubSpot and, integrating your personal inbox. So before we spoke about all those nice integrations, but you have to pay for them. So now we're going to give people something and let them know what's the good thing about this integration first.
It is free.
Ah, you've said the magic word, Kiera. It is free. No one needs to pay for it. Okay.
This one is totally free. And well, first of all, I would say it is very important to choose what you are connecting as personal and what you're connecting as a share inbox. If you are connecting a personal inbox, is that inbox that is going to be connected with HubSpot, and it will allow you to create those contacts that you are emailing, and as well that you will have all of the registration and logs of those emails within their contact records, which it is very easy to have everything that it happens related to interactions with your customers only in one place with one record. So I feel like it is very useful to have it, not only to see the interactions, but to see, what stage they are, how to reach them better, and how to make sure that in the end they are successful customers closing deals, which I feel is what our end goal is in the end of the day.
Yes, you're so right, and this is exactly some things that people miss. I think this is always like my winner whenever I show this integration to my clients, because as you just said, it gives you all of those wonderful tools, but it also allows you to really manage HubSpot because salespeople, some of them, the minute they see HubSpot, they're like, no, I don't want to work with another system. I don't want to learn another system. And then I use this integration to show them, okay, you never have to go into HubSpot. You can send your contacts regular emails and just check that log button and it goes into HubSpot for you.
Yeah.
So this is one of the things I loved about that integration. So it really saves the salespeople time and another click of getting into the CRM to enter information, as you just said. One of the other tools I know it has is the tracking. Could you tell us a bit about how the tracking works? Like when you
Yeah.
send
So pretty much the tracking, to put it in, simple words to get everybody in it, is like HubSpot does add like a specific image at the end of the actual email when you are sending it. This email is actually this image is actually, nobody can see it. It is there. It's a code that allows HubSpot to track those emails. So you are going to write your email, that little image code is going to be there. And every time that this image code is loading, we are tracking that email. And from there, we could start tracking not only, when it is being open, but as well when, they're actually clicking on those links that you actually target when you're putting in that content of that email. So it is down to the actions that it happens within the email when they receive it. More likely when they open it, they read it. And obviously, if you put a specific content that is hyperlink in there, it will allow you to see when they click or they don't click in there.
Nice. Interesting. I didn't know that one. So that's a good tip. Thank you. But you know what I discovered just the other day was it actually gives you that button that says schedule send as well. So, I'm often working all hours of the night, like 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff like this. And I didn't want to send my clients emails at 2 o'clock in the morning because I don't want them to think I actually work 24 hours a day, although they know this, but still. So I didn't realize they had that nice schedule send button. So tell us about that schedule send button and how it actually works as well.
So yeah, that's a very handy feature that it comes with, just adding your personal inbox into HubSpot. It brings you it allows you to choose when do you want to send that email, because sometimes, you might know more likely that your customer, it will open that email in a specific range of time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to target that time, it would be easier if you are at the computer just waiting for that time and sending. But now you don't need to do that. Actually, HubSpot would do that for you. So when you click schedule, HubSpot will know what time you are setting up. And at that time, HubSpot will take care of that sending email.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So much great integration tools. And again, all of this is free. No money is needed. You just have to have a HubSpot account and you can actually do this integration up and start tracking your emails. I often joke, but I use that email to when I'm sending messages to my husband to see if he's reading my messages, because this is the one time I can say, yes, I saw that you read my message. You can't say you didn't get it. So this is a good tip then too.
That's good too. And I don't know also, Resa, that another thing that is good to know is like how to use the snippets within, that personal inbox once it's connected, how to use a sequence, how to add the template that you don't need to be rewriting all the time. You just need, to edit a little bit less. So it definitely comes very handy to have all of these extra just with connecting your personal inbox with HubSpot.
Yeah, there's so much you can do. And this is why sometimes I am so much shocked at how much HubSpot gives us for free. Because really, a lot of businesses who are still on the fence of whether to go digital or not, I mean, just using the free version of HubSpot allows you to run your business in such a different manner that it can really change, the way you look and the way you do things. So that's really, really amazing. So thanks for those tips. And now I want to get into another type of integration as well, which is also free. And it's the integration with HubSpot and Facebook Messenger. So could you tell us a bit about this integration?
So pretty much what is happening is Facebook Messenger will be connected through our tool of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And we will put it in simple words. When a Facebook message arrives into your business page, that message it will show in the actual conversations tool in HubSpot. So these
Okay.
what does this allow you? Again, you as a person who has a business, you would like to have that answer straight away to that customer who is looking for you. So you
Right.
can do that when you are working with HubSpot. So if you're working in HubSpot, you will get straight the notification there. You can answer straight away. So you don't need to have that extra tab of Facebook opening there and being just aware if it's a message coming. You will
Yeah.
have that. And
Yeah, because
as
not
well,
all the time you're on social media, right? So
yeah,
this is why we're family.
yeah.
Exactly.
And as well, it's very interesting because also when you aren't there, you could actually set like an automated message that it says, hey, we're not there, but we will take care of these, I don't know, in certain time that you will be back into your business. So the main thing is you are not letting that customer without knowing that you are there for them, but not right now, in a minute. So it's good to have it connected with HubSpot again for free. You could actually take care of other external platforms just from one place, HubSpot.
Amazing. But one more thing too about this Facebook Messenger connection, I know you can set up a bot, right? So it's not, you can have it either as a live messenger where you respond in real time, or as you said, leave a message, but you could set it up as a bot as well that will automatically answer some questions. So can you tell us when is a good time to use a bot in this case for Facebook Messenger, you think?
Yeah, so sure. I'd say like personal, it could be in two cases. When you aren't there and you are looking to find, a little bit more to start that interaction the day after when you come back, or the
Yeah.
situation when you are not available because you might be busy, with other conversations or other situations, but you would like to target that customer straight away or just reassign it to someone else who is more specific. So if it's someone who is looking to close a deal, so that bot with those questions, it could check if it's ready to close that deal, you know, or that bot actually could actually check for if it's only looking for an extra information. So I can give you, in the next interaction, I can just give you that link of my website and you go more into that product that you are looking for. So you can either like be there or actually find out more what they would like to hear from you that next time when you interact with them.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a really good point you brought up because, sharing your knowledge base is always important, and how you can use some people come and they go to your website, but then they come to your bot to ask you the exact questions that exist on your website. But if you have a website, anything like HubSpot, it gets confusing, right? So you can have so much information that nobody finds what they're looking for. So the quickest way for them to get that information sometimes is to ask your bot or ask your chat, because they don't really know it's a bot. But you can set up that chat flow so it will automatically direct them to different resources on your site, which helps them find the information more, right?
Yeah.
One more thing I saw that when I set up the bot for my clients is I actually use it for lead nurturing. So when it is that a client is actually looking for specific information and they also you want to drive them through the funnel a little more, you can use the bot to qualify them. You could use the bot to nurture them a bit more. So you can ask qualifying questions, like your job title, your email address, to make sure this is someone that you want to actually pass on to sales or to put into marketing more. So it's a really good tool as well for lead nurturing. So any last questions or any last tips for us about any of these integrations that you'd like to leave with us tonight?
To be honest, when you're looking to have any type of integration with HubSpot, always like recommending to go into the app marketplace to check what integrations are available as native HubSpot integrations. But
Right.
not only that, looking into those documentation, you're going to be able to find which one is going to be the best fit for you and the structure of your business that you have. So spending that extra time resourcing, it could lead you to a great success in a longer term, because sometimes I do find like some of our customers are testing different ones, but before testing and being sync, I think like reading that extra structure, what they can bring, or even like, uh, post it in the community and check, hey, how do you use this integration? Do you use it for this? Or just exposing really your structure, what you have, just to make sure that that integration that you choose is gonna be the best fit for you and you're gonna make the most of it.
Amazing. That's really, really good advice. And, I think this is sometimes what people miss, because I do often meet clients or talk to others that, they want to integrate two platforms with HubSpot or anything, and then they think they have to create it themselves. And they don't realize that HubSpot has many of these native integrations set up, because this is one of their goals, really, to open up their platform so we are not limited by not being able to access different features or different platforms we prefer to work with. So even though HubSpot offers us most and almost everything we may need as marketers and salespersons, they still offer us, integrations to other people's similar platforms. So this is one thing to really check first. If HubSpot has it, they have, I know, over 500 integrations already, right? And it's
Yeah.
always growing. So there's no limit to what they can do. So Kiera, this was amazing. Thank you so very much. I
Thanks
really
so much.
enjoyed having this chat with you. I know we may have questions, and I don't see many questions that came in, because I know a lot of these people are on holiday in Israel. Some people are offline, but people will see this video and they will have questions. So when they do have questions about anything about HubSpot, what is your best advice into using HubSpot's customer support?
So when you use HubSpot customer support, I'd say like depending on your question and how it could be like difficult it could be, you can decide what channel it could be better for you, right?
Yes.
Because for example, when you actually have the subscription that allows you to ring us straight away or to request that phone call, it could allow you to actually jump into Zoom and share a screen, which
Right.
it means if you have that big situation that it needs to take care of right there, right now, and it's easier to explain when you're sharing your screen, that would be your right channel. Then this is like as a personal thought on the other side of the screen. Like when you have that question, yes or no, or you just need those pair of eyes to just say, what do you think? You have more experience. What do you think? What would you do? I think chat is just brilliant because you
Right.
have someone in there immediately will say, yes, no, I will go with this. And sometimes it's that just little bit that we need, the little support that it says, yes, you're doing right. So chat is great for that. And then like web ticket is like, I suppose it depends on the type of interaction that you can have. It depends also on the urgency that you have. If it's something very urgency, we need to remember that a web ticket, it could take like up to 24 hours to have an answer. So
Right.
I suppose it depends on urgency, on what type of help you need. You will choose one channel or the other one. But either way, we'll be there for you.
Oh my, thank you so very much for that. That has cleared up even how I will use HubSpot support going forward. But I've always said you guys are the best support team I've ever come across in any company, hands down. So I really, really appreciate all the work you guys do. And I thank you for your time today. I thank you for coming on to this Facebook Live and joining us tonight and giving us all of these wonderful tips. And I ask my audience, if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to either of us, but of course, reach out to HubSpot support in order to get all the support you need. Thank you so much, Kiera, and wishing you a very safe and good night.
Thank you so much for inviting me and stay healthy and best of luck for everybody. And we are here to help whenever
Thank,
you need it.
thank you. And happy Easter, happy Passover, and happy some mayak to our audience. Bye,
You too.
Kiera.
Bye.